Here are my top 3 chest exercises of all time. Number 1 on the list, barbell press, or any machine that mimics barbell press. Okay? Now, here's a caveat. Anytime you're grabbing the bar, you can be doing deadlift, you could be doing squats, you could be doing chest or overhead. Think about strength training. Anytime you have grabbed that barbell, think about strength. Have I said that you can't do hypertrophy with the barbell? Not at all. But I always feel like, unless you have limited equipment, that's when you can do that. But if you're in a big commercial gym whereby they have all manner of machines, barbell for strength, machines and dumbbells for hypertrophy, that is size. Why am I saying so? Because of range of motion. You see, a barbell has doesn't have a wider range of motion compared to dumbbell. See, dumbbell, you have that freedom of twisting and turning your fist, hence it will give you an extra range of motion. Anytime you're grabbing a barbell, think about strength. How many reps? 1 to 6 maximum, okay? Because you're trying to increase load, you're not trying to increase repetition. Anytime you're doing strength, think about load, not repetition. So increase the load, decrease the reps. Always reserve some reps in the tank so that you can maintain your form in posture. In other words, you don't want to compromise your form or technique. Another thing you need to know, that when you're doing barbell, you can still go for high reps, but instead of now going for high reps, remember I've talked about you in a big commercial gym, you have all manner of machines. Instead of going high reps on the bar, now make use of other machines that mimics barbell, like a chest press machine. Number 2 on the list is dumbbell. Dumbbell press, incline per se, okay? When I say incline, 30 degrees. Do your thing and go. But here's another caveat. Anytime you're doing dumbbell press, make sure your fist meet at the center. Don't do dumbbell press in form of a barbell press. You know what I mean? You're just pushing instead of focusing on the contraction, because I've said it gives you aesthetic. Here is where you pay close attention to range of motion and also mind muscle connection. Incline dumbbell press, make sure they meet at the center, or any machine that mimics that, like a seated isolateral press. How I say isolateral? Iso press. This one for chest. Number 3 is cable flies, cable crossover. It could be pec deck, it could be dumbbell, it could be crossover on that cable machine. Imagine you only need those 3 exercises if you want to develop big chest. Now I'll give you my bottom 3 chest exercises of all time. Number 1 on the list is decline chest press. Using barbell, using dumbbell, it doesn't matter, as long as you're on a decline position. That one you're doing more of your triceps than your chest. Actually, you're trying to develop that which you have already. See, most people don't have this part of their pecs. You see, this part is so hard to achieve compared to this part. Now, why waste your time trying to focus on that which you have already instead of focusing on that which you don't have, which is the upper pec? So focus on incline instead of decline. Decline is more triceps. But I know some guys in here, they will start arguing with me. I'm not saying it's a bad exercise, but you need to know, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on your triceps or are you focusing on your chest? Number 2 on the list is dips. Same thing. Dips. People don't know how to execute on the dips. They end up doing triceps instead of dips, instead of chest. Execution is a key when you want to look for size. It's not a bad exercise, but you'll not yield sufficient results if you rely so much on them. That is in the name of hypertrophy. Last on the list is pullover. Pullover is not a back exercise, it's a chest exercise. For this part known as anterior serrators, they look like some bullets. Instead of you doing pullover, just focus on those 3 which I've mentioned. You will get better results if you do these 3 and repeat them twice in a week, or thrice if it's possible. You only grow muscles when you subject them into enough stress so that they can adapt to that stress. And the best way of approaching this so-called hypertrophy, it is through frequency. Now your frequency should be at least twice in a week. Every muscle try to train them twice in a week, not one time in a week. That's why I'm always against pro split. Oh, Monday chest, Tuesday back, Wednesday legs, Thursday arms, Friday shoulder. Man, unless you're using roids. But if you're natural, if you're nutty, go for the pro split. Pro split, push pull legs, and then again you repeat push pull. So you are repeating your muscles twice in a week. If your muscles are not well stimulated at least twice in a week, you'll find it hard to develop sufficient or quality results. And then again, these ones, there are those people who have good genetics, so they can do that bro split and still get results. But now, this is a general talk. Most people, maybe they don't have these good genetics like you. So it might work for some, it might not work for some. Remember, some of you have good muscles, not because you work so hard in the gym, but because you have now this so-called genetics. If you are a hard gainer, I'll tell you for free, try to stimulate your muscles twice in a week. That's how you grow. So do anything within your power to make sure that if it's chest, you're training it twice. If it's back, you're training it twice. If it's legs, you're training it twice. The best way to do that is to have a quality workout program. So if you do 3 exercises, 3 for chest, 3 for shoulder, 3 for everything, you see, it is easier for you to repeat them twice in a week. But if you do now, you have done incline, you have done a flat,